Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, how are you? I hope you're always in a good condition. Well, we are from group 3. We are going to tell you about semantic rules. Do you know what is the rules in semantic? So stay tuned in this video and you will know the answer. Before we get into the material, let us introduce ourselves. This group consisted of 6 students. They are Yudhystira, Intan, Musawir Akbar, Feby Dwi Ambarwati, Khumaira Nurul Mardiyah, and Moh.Hanifun Nafis. So, there are 3 sub-chapters in this chapter. The first one is sentence and proposition. The second one, semantic roles. And the last, some change in valency. Okay, let's start with the number 1, sentence and propositions. What is sentence and what is proposition? Okay, check this out. Well, there are 2 terms here. The first one is sentence, the second one is proposition. So what are they? A traditional way of defining a sentence is something that expresses a complete thought. So the sentence contain information, and preposition is the information presented. It contains predicate and noun phrases or referring expression. So proposition is the information presented in a sentence. Jadi proposition itu adalah suatu makna yang terkandung di dalam suatu sentence. As we can see here, sentence is a complete thought. There are 3 examples here. A. We walk in the park. B. Our walk in the park. C. For us to walk in the park. We call the first a complete sentence. We say the other 2 are not complete sentences, but all 3 expressions have the same semantic content, the same relation to an action or possible action performed in a certain place by 2 or more people, one of whom is the speaker or the writer. The difference is grammatical. The first expression asserts something, makes a statement. The other 2 expressions can be parts of statement. Jadi kita bisa lihat di sini bahwa kalimat yang pertama itu adalah complete sentence karena bisa berdiri sendiri dan bisa dimaknai dengan lengkap sendiri. Sedangkan kalimat B dan kalimat C itu bukanlah suatu complete sentence karena seharusnya kedua kalimat itu adalah suatu bagian dari suatu pernyataan sehingga tidak bisa disebut complete sentence. Here are the other examples. We may say that these 4 sentences also express a single proposition, but they differ in focus. In the sentence A has no particular focus, and B and C give a special emphasis to Richard, and D emphasize the report. So it has the difference in focus. A sentence may add a focus and may add the focus in different places and in different ways. Before we get into the material, let us introduce ourselves. This group consisted of 6 students. They are Yudhystira, Intan, Musawir Akbar, Feby Dwi Ambarwati, Khumaira Nurul Mardiyah, and Moh.Hanifun Nafis.
Inflection. Kinds of modification of a sentence. It is include 1. Tenses walk, walk. 2. Aspect are walking, have, walk. 3. Modality may walk, called, walk. 4. Combined we're walking, shall be walking. In the walk are walking, have walked, may walk, would have walked, could be walking.
Okay, let's start with the number one, sentence and propositions. What is sentence and what is proposition?
Syntactic versus semantic analysis. Syntactic analysis is the basic description of a sentence, combining process and its function of the sentences. Deals with subject, object, complement, and adverb. Albert sends email to his friends. Semantic analysis. The description of propositions deals with meaning. Albert sends his friend's email, that is present tense, and Albert sent his friend's email, that is past tense. Have same proposition. Albert sent Albert is friend email.
Well, guys, in semantic analysis, we first separate inflection from proposition. When inflection, including tenses, is separated from proposition, we see that the forms of the verb be like is, am, are, was, and were have no meaning. And so they are a part of the syntactic structure of sentence, but not of the semantic structure. In semantic analysis, every proposition contains of one predicate and varying number of referring expression. L, we can call it arguments. And the predicate may be a verb, an adjective, a preposition, or a noun phrase. And well, guys, you can look at the PPT number 1, 2, 3. It is the example of the preposition expressed in the sentence. And you must know, guys, that the arguments that accompany the predicate have different semantic function or rules in the proposition. What rules they have depends partly on the nature of the predicate and partly on their own meanings. Jadi mereka itu peran apa yang mereka miliki itu tergantung pada sifat predikatnya dan tergantung juga pada maknanya sendiri. Okay guys, now we go to number 2 and it is about semantic roles.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys, how are you? I hope you're always in a good condition. Well, we are from group 3. We are going to tell you about semantic rules. Do you know what is the rules in semantic? So stay tuned in this video and you will know the answer.
Okay, let's look for valency theory. Well, different predicates, verb, adjective, prepositions can be described according to the number of referring expressions or arguments that can occur with them and the roles these arguments have. An account of the number of arguments that a predicate has is called the valency of that predicate. So, what is valency theory? Valency theory is a description of the semantic potential of predicates in terms of the number and types of arguments which may occur with them. There are some examples of uh, valency, and they are uh, there are valency of zero, valency of one, valency of two, and valency of three.
Syntactic versus semantic analysis. Syntactic analysis is the predictive description of a sentence, combining process and its function of the sentences. Deals with subject, object, complement, and adverb. Albert sends email to his friends. Semantic analysis. The description of propositions deals with meaning. Albert sends his friend's email, that is present tense, and Albert sent his friend's email, that is past tense. Have same proposition. Albert sent Albert is friend email.
Valency of One. Valency of One is predicate that requires only one argument as a subject without object. Here, there are two parts of the example. The first part is A, B, C, and the second is D, E, F. In the first part, in point A, B, C, we have a predicate, sleep, loud, and rotate. Jadi, pada contoh A, B, C, kita mempunyai predikat sleep, loud, and rotate. Ini merupakan ungkapan suatu tindakan. So, this predicate is explained about what the dogs Larry and the earth is doing. Jadi, poinnya itu, predikat di sini menjelaskan apa yang sedang dilakukan oleh subjek. Contohnya, the dog is sleeping. Sleeping merupakan suatu tindakan yang menunjukkan apa yang dilakukan oleh subjek, yaitu apa yang dilakukan oleh the dog. So, we can conclude that who is doing an action is called actor. Next, the example part 2. D, C, D, E, and F. Jadi pada poin D, E, and F menjadi suatu yang memungkinkan untuk mengatakan bahwa grandfather, a volcano, and the cake itu melakukan suatu tindakan dan predikat dari masing-masing kata tersebut menjelaskan apa yang mereka lakukan. Tetapi pada poin ini predikatnya berbeda dengan poin yang ada di kelompok pertama. Karena pada predikat die, arrow, fall itu menjelaskan sebuah event. Sebuah event ini yang sedang terjadi dan mengalami suatu perubahan kondisi. Perubahan kondisi pada subjeknya. Dan affected. Affected means that the entity name in the argument undergoes this change. Jadi yang disebut affected itu adalah subjeknya tadi, subjek yang mengalami perubahan akibat terjadinya event itu. Contohnya pada a volcano erupted. Jadi pada predikat erupted tersebut, di mana predikat ini menjelaskan sesuatu yang sedang terjadi atau event yang sedang terjadi pada a volcano. Dan akibat erupted tersebut, a volcano ini mengalami perubahan. Jadi itulah yang menjadi poin pada contoh Valency of One Part 2. Table of Semantic Roles. There are 9 semantic rules: actor, affected, affecting, agent, associate, effect, place, and themes. Actors perform some action without affecting any other entity. For example, Sylvia laughed. Here, Sylvia as actor because Sylvia do some action without affecting any others. Jadi, Sylvia menjadi actor di sini karena Sylvia melakukan suatu tindakan. Then, affected undergoes change due to some event affected by some other entity. Jadi, affected ini adalah yang dipengaruhi oleh suatu tindakan. Contohnya, a window broke and Tom broke a window. Contohnya kan Tom broke a window. Di sini a window itu dipengaruhi oleh sesuatu tindakan, yaitu tindakan oleh Tom yang memecahkan window tersebut. So, a window calls as affected. Sesuatu yang dipengaruhi oleh suatu tindakan. Affecting, without any action, affect another entity. The example, Betty likes opera and opera delights Betty. Pada affecting ini, yang menjadi pengaruh itu adalah opera. Pada contoh, Betty likes opera. Apa yang membuat Betty suka? Yaitu opera. So, opera di sini sebagai affecting. Contoh keduanya, opera delights Betty. Opera is something that makes someone happy. So here why it's called affecting. And next is agent. By its action, affect any other entities. For example, Tom's broke a window. Here the agent is Tom. Tom broke a window. Yang menjadi agent adalah Tom karena Tom menyebabkan suatu efek kepada a window tersebut. So here, a ladder as the name of the action happened, and the last is same, a topic of the predicate. For example, Aubrey is a computer expert. Jadi di sini yang menjadi temanya yaitu Aubrey. Okay, next it's going to explain by next speaker. Thank you.
More examples. In this group, the predicates are adjective phrases which describe the entities named by their subjects. Look at these sentences. Look at this sentence. Henrietta was rather reckless. The label reckless may well be an evaluation of Henrietta because of she act and at the sentence of the bottle is empty. If the bottle is empty, there is likely to be the result of a change becoming empty, but none of these predicates express action or change, which are dynamic process. They simply describe existing states. And then you can look at the second group of sentences. Each sentence of this group has a referring expression as a predicate. The predicate in some way provides an identity for the entity named by the subject as one or more of a kind, a carpenter, sugars, or as the only one structure or ones of the kind, example the village idiot and the class leaders. This is the structure. This man is carpenter. The argument them is man. The predicate, the identity is carpenter. And then dextrose and fructose are sugars. Dextrose and fructose is the argument them, and sugar is the predicate identity. These next groups of sentences do not express any action. They tell how one entity affects or fails to affect another entity. You can look at the A group of sentences. In the A group of sentences, the predicate express an effect. The first argument names the entity that affects, that has the affecting role, and the second argument names the entity that is affected. Examples: the decision surprised us all. The argument one, affecting, is decision. The predicate affect is surprise. The argument two, affected us. And then the next is you are disturbing everybody. The argument one, affecting, is you. The predicate affect, disturb. The argument two, affected, everybody. In the B group of sentences have the same semantic roles, but the other in which they occur in these English sentences is the reverse. Look at the example. If Oliver envies or loves or hates or admires his brother, it is Oliver who is affected by these emotions. If the brother is affected by Oliver's envy, a different sentence is needed to communicate this fact. The argument one, affected, is Oliver. The predicate, the affect, is envy. And the argument two, affecting, brother. An adjective cannot have a referring expression following directly. There must be a preposition between adjective and noun phrase. We consider the combination of adjective plus preposition, a compound adjective that takes an object. At two arguments, adjective. Some two argument adjectives appear in the next sentences. or the group C sentences. Example: I'm afraid of that dog. The argument 1, affected, is I. The predicate, affect, is afraid. And then the argument 2, affecting, is dog. The next example: we were not aware of the accident. Argument 1, affected, we. The predicate, affect, aware. And then the argument 2, affecting, is accident. Valency 2. Most verbs take a subject and object. There are two arguments predicates. One of them is make. Other examples are need and use. We can simply say, Chris is making, or I need, or she used. A statement with make must contain a mention of who makes and what is made, and likewise with need and use. The first group of sentences express some action by one entity which affect other entity. The first argument denotes an agent, and the second argument names the entity affected. An agent is involved in action that has some effect on another entity or entities. Example: an actor, on the other hand, is involved in some action that has no necessary effect on others. For the example, sentence number 1, the cat killed a rat. The argument and the agent is cat, and the predicate and action is killed, and then the argument 2 is a rat. And then the next is I broke the window. The argument and the agent is I. The predicate action is broke, and the argument 2 affected is window. Bird hit Harry. The argument 1 is agent. The predicate is action, and then the argument 2 is effect. The next examples: the cat dug a hole. The argument or the agent is cat. The predicate or the action is dog, and the argument 2 or effect is hole. Chris is making an omelette. The argument 1 or the agent is Chris. The action is make, and then the argument or the effect is omelette. In the second group of sentences is a difference. The cat doesn't just evict a whole nor Chris an omelette, nor Picasso a masterpiece. The whole, omelette, and masterpiece are the result of effect of the action. They come into existence because of the action. The predicate of third group of sentences also express some action performed by an actor, and then the action involves movement with respect to a place. To enter, leave, cross, or climb entails some location.
Okay, the next slide is about the predicate merely acts as a link, theme, and associate. But first of all, I'd like to explain about theme and associate. What is theme? Theme role of an argument that is the topic of a predicate that doesn't express action, a static predicate. For example, Audrey is a computer expert. Here, the sentence describes Audrey, so Audrey is a theme of this sentence. And the second is associate. Associate is the role of an argument that tells the status or identity of another argument or theme. For example, Roger is a student. So, the associate from this sentence is a student. Associate is the description of the first argument or theme. So, look to the table. The sentences are about neither action nor effecting. The predicate merely acts as a link between argument 1, a theme, and another argument, its associate. The predicate is a linking or relational predicate. For example, Shayla is like her mother. Here, the theme is Shayla, and the predicate or link is like, and argument to or associate is mother. Shayla called as theme because the sentence explain about Shayla that like her mother, and mother describe the first argument. It's also same on the second, third, and fourth sentences. This person is for you. Tom is with Ant, and the book is about fossils. It's same. You can look at the table, which is the argument 1, which is the predicate, or argument 2. And the second is a relational predicate may indicate the relation of a theme and its associate in space. For example, Canada is north of United States, and the books are near the selves. Some linking predicates locate even in time. For example, the party will be on Saturday, the next game is at 3 o'clock, and the meeting is after class. So all the preposition which indicates position in space or time are through argument predicates. They are at, in, on, near, beside, and under cover.
Table of semantic rules. There are 9 semantic rules: actor, affected, affecting, agent, associate, effect, place, and themes. Actors perform some action without affecting any other entity. For example, Sylvia laughed. Here, Sylvia as actor because Sylvia do some action without affecting any others. Jadi, Sylvia menjadi actor di sini karena Sylvia melakukan suatu tindakan. Dan affected undergoes change due to some event affected by some other entity. Jadi affected ini adalah yang dipengaruhi oleh suatu tindakan. Contohnya, a window broke and Tom broke a window. Contohnya kan Tom broke a window. Di sini a window itu dipengaruhi oleh sesuatu tindakan, yaitu tindakan oleh Tom yang memecahkan window tersebut. So, a window calls as affected. Sesuatu yang dipengaruhi.
Some changes in valency. Some changes in valency. So, that's all from us. We hope that it will be useful for all of us. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.